I'm gonna go over the 3 easiest ways that dentists can make more money and then break down how much money dentists actually make. If you stay until the end, I'm gonna share with you the fastest way to make more money.
I missed you so much.
That's my girl.
Woohoo!
You ever talk to patients and they look at you like they have no idea what you're saying and you're a crazy person? So the number one thing that you need to do if you want to make more money as a dentist is you got to get good at talking to people. People need to feel comfortable in your presence. Okay, so a couple things that you can do is take care of your appearance. Like look a little polished, make sure that you actually like care about what you look, and take a little bit of that preparation. So take a shower in the morning before you go to work, maybe comb your hair, maybe put some lotion on your face. And these are like basic hygiene tips, but a little bit goes a long way. Nobody wants to go to the dental office and look at their dentist and they look like they just woke up. Because if somebody looks like they just woke up and then they're going to proceed to take a high-speed instrument and go into your mouth, that's not the most reassuring thing. So very simple, just take care of the way you look. I'm not saying you need to look like a supermodel every day when you go to work, but you need to just look presentable. Another thing that you can do to improve your case presentation is just smile. The power of a smile goes a long way. You can see that there's a totally different vibe to this video when I'm smiling versus when I'm just saying the same stuff. When you're smiling, you're going to come off way more passionate, way more energetic, even if what you're talking about is drilling into their mouth to fix a cavity. I'm going to try to smile for the rest of the video. Another thing that you can do is just put off good energy, because if you are putting off good energy, people are going to be way more willing to want to do something with you, right? Okay, so what does it mean to be conversational without talking? So I took this from the book How to Win Friends and Influence People, but the takeaway here is if you want people to like you, you need to get them talking about their favorite thing. What is everyone's favorite thing to talk about, you might wonder? It's themselves. You got to ask them questions about them. Simple things like, how was your weekend? What did you do? What is your favorite thing to do on a Saturday? Have you traveled recently? And if they say yeah, it's like, oh, where'd you go? Right? These are just a few of the ways that you can build rapport with people. I have another video on this and I go deeper into how to talk to people. You guys can check that out. But in the meantime, let's keep moving on. So building off of your case presentation abilities, you must be able to build trust and rapport with patients. You need to embody and solidify the 3 pillars of trust. So people have to trust 3 things. They need to trust the practice, trust the procedure, and trust you. If you don't have trust in any of these areas, getting somebody to commit to treatment is going to be impossible and it won't happen. Let's use an example to break this down further. So let's say a patient comes into the practice and they need a crown for a tooth. They've never had a crown done before, but they've had some fillings. So let's take the 3 pillars of trust and apply it to this. So the patient already trusts the practice because they've been coming here and they also scheduled an appointment. So you got that taken care of. They don't necessarily trust the procedure because they've never had it done before. And they definitely don't trust you because they've never met you. What do? First, build rapport with them. Get them to talk about themselves before you start talking about the teeth for like 30 seconds. Like I mentioned before, that is the number 1 rule. This is going to build that goodwill and trust, and it lays the foundation for what you're trying to build moving forward. Dentists just get weird about this and they were never taught to do this. So that's why they don't. But now you know. So now that you have a little bit more trust with them, the next thing you have to do is build some trust behind the procedure itself. Show them a picture of their tooth. When they can see a problem, they're going to want a solution. That's when you give it to them. Another way that you can build trust around this procedure is to relate it to something that they've already had done. So since this patient has already had fillings done, you can just explain to them that the process is very similar in the sense where they will be getting numb, you will be working on the tooth, and then they will leave the practice with a temporary on it. You don't need to go into the nitty-gritty unless they want to know that, but this is how you give somebody a general overview while relating it to something that they understand and have experienced before, so that way this doesn't become some unknown scary procedure that they've never had done before. Make sense? So if you do all this stuff, or you feel like you're doing all this stuff and you still have patients who aren't saying yes to treatment, chances are you failed in building trust in one of these areas. And you need to reflect on how you're going about this stuff and improving on those situations. Did you know that dentistry has a lot of things in common with Louis Vuitton? So I want to break this concept down real quick. Dentistry is very similar to designer stores. You know how there are really nice designers and then also like really bad and cheap ones? There's also really good high-end dentists and really bad cheap ones. And now I want to take this a step further and show you that the products that people sell in stores are similar to the procedures that you offer in a dental practice, right? So if you sell a variety of products, you're going to attract a variety of people. There are pros and cons to this. It's a good starting point because you get a feel of what the customers are like and what the experience is like for you when you're actually doing all these different procedures. But then over time, what you're going to realize is you're probably going to start to burn out and not enjoy what you're doing. And then people are going to lose interest in coming to you because instead of being somebody who is known for one thing, people get confused about what you actually offer. And then you get placed into a category of being just like everybody else. And you don't want to be just like everybody else because you're different, right? So what you want to do over time is start niching down. And there's so many different ways that you can niche down. It can be from the experience that you offer patients to the procedures that you offer to so many other things. But for the sake of this video, let's focus on the the procedures that you offer. So if you want to grow, you need to be clear about one product that you offer and do as much of it as you can. This leads to you getting better at that product, and then patients will know you for it. For example, doing more implants or root canals or aligners or veneers or Botox or TMJ or airway. Hit one of those hard. Now, you want to be smart about which niche you get into, because the price you charge for that procedure is directly correlated to how much of that procedure you have to do, right? So if you want to make $5,000 a day as a dentist and you charge $200 of filling, you have to do 25 fillings that day to make $5,000. That's a lot of fillings. Alternatively, if you do aligners, one case is $5,000 on average. So you only have to do one aligner case to meet your goal. What type of dentist do you want to be? If you want to offer clear aligners, I actually have a masterclass that is completely free, and I walk you through exactly what you need to do to get started and how to do it. Check out the link in the description below. Okay, the third way to make a lot more money as a dentist. Did you know that based on where you practice can actually affect how much money you can make as a dentist? Where you practice matters. A very broad way to look at this is comparing somebody who is working in a rural area compared to an urban area. Or for those of you that don't know what that means, working in the middle of nowhere versus working in a highly populated area. This hits on the component of saturation and how that can impact what you can charge for the procedures that you offer. So let's take the middle of nowhere dentist as an example to start off from. On a very need-based level, if you are the only dentist in the middle of nowhere, and there's people that live in the middle of nowhere and they have problems with their dental health, you're the only option. So you can kind of charge whatever you want because the supply is very low, meaning the number of dentists that can treat this problem, but the demand is very high because there's a lot of people in that area who need this service. And I'm going to compare this to what it means to work in a very crowded area. So if you're in a crowded area, there is a high supply of dentists. So the demand isn't necessarily as high because everybody is seeing dentists, right? So the question is how can you cut the noise and be successful in a super saturated area? When you niche down and you do a procedure, you will then be known as the doctor in the area that can do that job. This is what separates you from the rest of the pack. And if this is the case, if you're a dentist in a super saturated area, you should actually talk to more dentists in your area and let them know what procedures you actually do. See what procedures they do and help each other. Work together and be collaborative. There is so much room for growth when we are working together as dentists. Ask them what procedures they like doing. You share with them what procedures you like doing, and then you guys work together to send patients to each other. And if you guys do a lot of the same procedures, well then one of you two should probably learn how to do something else so that way you can better serve your community, right? Remember, most dentists can't do a lot of procedures, nor do they do them. And they only refer patients to people that they know. And a lot of dentists don't actually know a lot of other dentists. I want to tell you a story about this. So I've worked in 11 practices over 5 years. And if I ever have to refer a patient for a specialized procedure to a specialist, I don't necessarily always know the specialist in the area. So I just go off of who the dentist in the practice usually refers to. And what's crazy is if you look at that from the other perspective, that specialist at one point in their career connected with this dentist, whether they introduced themselves at the office or sent flowers or sent goodies for the team, they did one thing to make themselves known. And that immediately got that dentist to start referring patients to the specialist. And then when the specialist gives good care, they keep referring, and then they usually never change. The same can be done from general dentist to general dentist. For me, I'm not actively looking for specialists that are out there who I can refer to. There's too many other things that I have going on. But the ones who reach out and connect with me, I remember who they are, and they're the first people I refer to. It's that simple. You just got to get out and talk to other people, and you don't have to be a specialist to do this. If you're a general dentist that does cosmetics, you should talk to the other dentists in your area and tell them that you do enjoy cosmetics and you're good at it. Show them your cases, because chances are that dentist probably doesn't do cosmetics and they're not even giving their patients an option for it. But if they do, they could just send them over to you. I do this all the time. There's a really good cosmetic dentist in Austin called Dr. Tejas Patel. And whenever my patients want high-end cosmetic veneer procedures, I refer them to him. And I'm not worried about him stealing the patients, because if my patients want veneers and he is really good at doing them, I want my patient to get the best work. It's synergistic. Okay, for those of you that are still with me, thank you. I'm going to give you the bonus tip on the fastest way to make more money as a dentist. Ready? Invest in courses to help you get the skills to make more money and help more patients. When you get in a course and learn how to do different procedures, you're actually going to make more money by starting that niching down process. And at the end of the day, we're dentists and we need to continue to learn to provide the highest level of care for our patients while still making sure that we are taken care of financially. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it valuable. If you did, please drill that like and subscribe button and share it with anyone you think may benefit from it. I'll see you in the next video.